The Kindle Scribe is old now, kind of. It came out in 2022, and subsequently in 2024, the Kindle Scribe 2 came out, but it was really just the exact same thing called the all-new Kindle. Same model number, same dimensions, all that stuff. And the old unit actually got the new unit's software update because you could just update the old one. So what are the differences? The holiday season is right around the corner. You might be in the market to buy one. Let's take a look back at the Kindle Scribe 2. Well, here we are, everyone, the Amazon Kindle Scribe 2. Well, technically speaking, it's not the Kindle Scribe 2, and even more technically speaking, it's the same generation. In fact, the model number is even the same, coming in at C4A64T, which you will see in the video as both on the previous generation and the current generation as the model number. Now, why do they do this? I'm not quite sure. They don't add numbers to their devices like Onyx. They don't add S classes to their devices like other manufacturers. They just seem to have these kind of incremental upgrades, and they just call it new. So the jump from 2022 to 2024 is the new Kindle Scribe. And you might be wondering, is it any different? Because the pen's the same and the body's the same. The pen is actually not the same, and the body is not the same. And I got the answers right here. Alright, so if you guys check this little comparison here, okay, well, to be honest, I wrote this on some packaging when I had a brainwave of the differences between the two units, so this is pretty illegible. Let's throw it on the screen, but follow along, shall you? So the Kindle Scribe 1 is on the left and the Kindle Scribe 2 is on the right. The Kindle Scribe 1 came with a basic pen or premium pen, but this one only comes with a premium pen, but the premium pen is different. But we'll get into that when we get into the review portion. The Kindle Scribe 1 goes from $339 to $389, whereas the 2 starts at $399 and goes up to $450. These are USD figures as well. 16 to 64 gigabyte versions are available on both. They both have active canvas, notes and docs, AI notebook tool, because the Kindle Scribe 1 got the upgrade that the Kindle Scribe 2 got. So with that, let's get into the Kindle Scribe 2. Looking at the build of this, it's the same thing. Although, I must say, this color scheme is really nice. This white bezel with the back that just wraps around to the front. Gorgeous color contrast. It's very, and even though this is metallic jade on the front ledger and the side, it's almost a little bit of a different flake in it because of the material. I love it. Got no complaints to that. My only complaint is that there's not enough different, because there isn't anything different, although they state on their website themselves this is 0.1 millimeters thinner, not a millimeter thinner. 0.1. It's incredibly it's so barely thinner that I think it's a mistake based off of the imperial to metric conversion, because it looks crazy identical. Even the number on the back is the same. It's technically not even a generational skip. You have the little rubber stoppers at the back that provide a great deal of grip, which I really appreciate. You have the power button, you have the USB-C. It's completely clean on all the sides. The back has a little smile. This thing leaves a ton of fingerprints. We alcohol our fingertips and wash our hands, of course, prior to every shot, but it does leave an ample amount of oils behind. It doesn't really break it down because there's no texture at the back. It's not perforated little holes, or it doesn't have like a leather backing like a Huawei or something, so really it just leaves spots everywhere. Also, the drop shadow is what we always mention in our videos when it is apparent, because this is a huge drop shadow. We will show you some close-ups, no problem. It's very far away from where you can feel. It just feels like the experience is just worlds beneath the surface, literally, because it doesn't look like you can ever really reach it, and that comes out of circumstance because of all the different layers, but it bears mentioning. Despite what a lot of people say, no, the new pen
is not the premium pen. They say it only ships with a premium pen, but it's not this one, and we'll show you why in a second. First, we have to weigh these for you guys. We're just going to call it generation. The previous generation's premium pen comes in at 15 grams, and the current gen, metallic jade or tungsten, comes in at 17 grams. The pens are also different in a few other ways. The previous gen pen has a great deal of travel when it comes to the eraser, and there's also this segmented line, and it's also kind of this hard rubber coating on the outside, and it doesn't have a rubber eraser. This is simply just plastic at the back. Whereas the new generation, the button protrudes out a lot more than the previous gen. The tip is all new, they say, although it just feels the exact same, and you can use the previous gen tips on here. The eraser is the crowning achievement of this pen. Not only is it fewer travel between the distance of the gap, it's made out of rubber, much like the Staedtler Norris Digital Jumbo. This one is an actual rubber eraser, which gives it a very strong level of realism when it comes to erasing your notes, which we'll show you in the note-taking section. You know what I wish they would have done, at least a little bit, is change the home screen. It's just the same thing. In fact, at the home screen, very little is yours. For example, search in Kindle is the store. The store icon is the store. All these recommended things is the store. So really the only thing that are yours are these small carousel 4.5 images. That's all that belongs to you. The rest is all Amazon. You can scroll and scroll and scroll, and it's all originals, and sign up for this and try unlimited reading and sign up for Prime, and there's just so many kind of services they're throwing at you, and that's understandable because I mean that's how they make money, by getting you to subscribe to things. So you have everything at the top here. You also have a top drop down, which is airplane mode, Bluetooth, which only works for audio, in the capabilities of which you can listen to it, nothing to do with music. So they will allow you to do TTS, they'll allow you to do voice guidance and audiobooks, of course, but you can't listen to any music or anything like that, so that's unfortunate. You have synchronize, you have all settings, and you have dark mode, which is kind of nice. It's good to flip the things right there. You do have warm lighting as well, so you have dark and warm, and you can turn that up and kind of mix the two, and you can do auto brightness as well. You can also schedule your brightness by clicking the little scheduler here, and you can do warmth schedule with a click of a button. Now to go over to the settings menu, which is all settings right here, you'll have your account, Amazon household, parental control, deregister device, etc., all that stuff that you've seen time and time again. You have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode, you have device options. This is where a lot of your power saver stuff, your sleep timer, your languages and dictionaries, your software update, and the device info telling you what update level you're on, your serial number, your device name, space available, etc. And actually, you know what? That's a good opportunity to check this. You have 53 out of 54 out of 64 gigabytes. So out of 64 uses about 10 gigabytes for the operating system, which isn't bad. We've seen some 128 gig devices allocate nearly 35% of their device storage to operating systems. So all things considered, not terrible. You have pen settings, shortcut button. This is really nice. What do you want the shortcut button to do? Highlighter, pen, fountain pen, marker, etc. So there's a lot of things you can do with the secondary button. Unfortunately, there is no tertiary button, there's no third button, and the eraser is just an eraser, but we'll get to that when we get to the pen itself. Screen and brightness has your layout, your size, your appearance. Accessibility is going to give you your voice screen reader, so if you need it to guide you along, if you're hard of sight, you're able to turn that on. And then you have your library tab, your books options, and then help and legal and compliance. At any point you can click right here and then do device info restart or reset to factory defaults. We'll get into the note taking and taking notes on an ebook in a minute, but let's just appreciate this as this is the largest Kindle ever made. It beats out the Kindle Oasis and the new Paperwhite at 7. It beats out the old DX at 9.7. This is 10.2. So aside from the Fire line of tablets, which are no longer Kindle Fires, they're just Fires, this is the largest Amazon product basically ever conceived. So as an e-reader, how does it fare? Well, it's pretty good, honestly, because it just feels like a big Kindle. They have the little note-taking thing every once in a while. You can tap it to expand the palette and everything like that, but they're not really trying to shove it down your throat. It is very much still an ebook reader. But one thing we have told you guys time and time again is the crazy drop shadow they have because of the digitizer, the Wacom note-taking digitizer. So the fact is that this is actually much further away from you than it might look on some sunken screen devices like the Kindle Basic, the Kindle Matcha, etc. But when it comes down to it, it is a very good reading experience because it is an ebook reader, kind of first and foremost, really. So when you tap on things, you can do delete, you can do highlights, you can do notes, you can go here and go one step further and do translations, which is really nice, courtesy of the internet, of course. You can search in Wikipedia and you can share. You can also report content errors as well. Tapping the top right corner will bring things up, and if you do it properly, Peter, you can get yourself a bookmark right there. If you long press something individually, one single thing, you'll have a dictionary that pops up right there giving you all these informations, and if you swipe over to the right, you'll have Wikipedia and translation there. So it does matter how you get into the translation, if you bulk edit or if you single edit, etc. If you tap the top and go to the AA button, this will take you to all of your text augmentation, or how you change text. So you have your font family, which is the font style. You can embolden the entire book, which is kind of cool, and you can change the size. So you can go up pretty big, and we'll go to the highest possible size just to show you guys what it kind of looks like with most screen real estate we've ever seen on a device from Amazon. You can change orientation, although it has automatic rotate, which you can turn on or off because it does have a gyroscope and accelerometer, so you don't have to worry about that. And going back here, you can change the margin, the spacing, the columns, and you can go to more. More is going to give you reading progress, about this book, annotations menu, page turn animation, word wise. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that really isn't any different than a paperwhite. So really all this is just a larger screen for you to read books on. How does this fare as a manga reader? Well, you know, it does pretty well. Again, it's that screen real estate that gives you a ton of room, and you have multiple cells, and the text itself is actually more visible than ever. They do still have issues, as you can see, with pinch and zooming and loading, and this is an inherent issue with Amazon devices dating back as far as the Kindle Paperwhite 1, 2, and 3 with PDFs and manga, etc. But don't forget that Amazon was one of the only companies to truly embrace manga really early on with the manga model, which was a Japanese exclusive, which also gave you this. The quick page turn engine is only found on the manga model and subsequently moved over into their other units like this one. So really it does fare quite well as a manga reader. It looks great, it performs well, just has some small hiccups and little fine tuning it needs to do when it comes to overall stability, but overall it looks really nice. Goodreads is going to be your social media service on this, which it technically is, and it's a good way to add your friends and share books and tell them what you have read, what you're currently reading, what you want to read. And if you click on something, you can go ahead and rate it. You can see if there's any followers or friends or their community behind it, and giving their own little kind of spin and spurt on what these books mean to them. And yes, it is kind of not the traditional social media where you can do updates and say like, hey guys, what's up, I'm reading this. So there's no videos, there's no pictures or anything like that, but you can collect a certain amount of friends and add books and add a description and a little thumbnail, but that's really where it begins and ends. But Goodreads is just sent there as a little bit of a pleasantry, and anything you read, people can kind of follow along with you.
We'll let you guys hear the difference between the pens in a bit, because they said the tip is all new, even though it's the same tip that everyone in the industry uses. So kind of confused because they didn't really specify too much on that. The eraser is new though, so we're just going to focus on the main pen, the premium pen, which is the only choice for the latest generation. Wow, that's already much more of a realistic feel than the previous gen, but we'll get into that in a second. What kind of options do we have? So we have our different pens. We have regular pen, and then you have fountain, marker, pencil, and a bunch of different kinds down below. You can also click on the thickness right here, so it'll go fine, thin, medium, thick, and heavy, and you have the eraser, which erases different ways. You can do entire page, entire selection, and you can do the thicknesses of what you want your eraser to be. You have a lasso tool as well, and a touch tool, and down here you have move to the right side. So when it comes to note taking on the Kindle Scribe, I mean, they just haven't improved it. You know what I mean? To the nth degree, they really haven't improved it yet. These guys are light years behind when it comes to the overall functionality palette. There's just not a whole lot you can do. Now, you do have some other things up top, which I'll show you in a second, AI and all that kind of stuff, but we are going to just take some light notes to get a feel for how everything kind of feels on the page itself. I love the contrast, I love the resolution, I love the fact that you have this nice opaque highlighter thing going on. I mean, there's a lot positive about the pen to paper placement of everything when you actually put pen to paper. But the functionality side of things with shapes and text inputs and recordings and all those little things are just completely left out. Now, this is something I want to check out. The eraser. I'm enamored with this eraser because we haven't seen rubber erasers on a lot of units. In fact, one of the only units would be the Staedtler Norris Jumbo. And what you can do to test is you put a card on the table, for example this card, and you use the previous one, and you see that it erases it. But if you use the new one, it grabs it, and that shows you the intense level of grip, that there are complete differences between the two, and this one is simulating an actual eraser, which is gorgeous. I mean, that's such a good design, and I feel that was one of the things that sets this unit aside, even though it's a little bit of a cheat because you can just buy this, but it's so nice to erase on this. It's moving the whole table, which is a good thing, because as you're erasing with an eraser, you got to hold the page down. You know, back in high school, you would erase, and then if you didn't hold it just right, you'd rip the whole page kind of thing when you're using your Cornell notes. It's such a sense of realism. It's such a throwback to what an eraser should be. And outside for, again, the digital Jumbo Norris from Staedtler, Germany, there really hasn't been any that does it quite like this, and I love it. Granted, again, you could go to Amazon and buy this and use it on the Remarkable 2, the Onyx, the High Read, the Me Book, anything, because it's a generic Wacom protocol and it'll just work. But oh man, I'll tell you, very rewarding, very fun, really engaging, and it's a thrill to erase, honestly. If you want to use AI summary, simply click the top bar, go to the little sparkle thing right there, and I will show you both of these, summarize and refine writing. So I wrote a little story about me going to the store, and I got to the register, realized they're not the cookies I was looking for. So I'm going to click summarize, and summarize the current page only, not the whole notebook, because I got 26 pages going here. So let's just do this page. There we go. So they added a title for me. It says gingerbread cookies purchased instead of chocolate cookies. The notes indicate that the person went to the store to buy a box of cookies. However, upon reaching the register, they realized the cookies were gingerbread instead of the expected chocolate sandwich cookies. As a result, the person decided to forego the purchase. You see what I mean? I didn't say expected, I didn't say forego or anything. What they did is they took my entire story and basically changed it, put their own words in it, spat it out, and it's the exact same thing, more coherently written, honestly, and they put it into a very nice little summary, which I very much appreciate. From there, you can add it to your notebook or customize further, which you can do font family, font size, line spacing, and so forth. And next, refine writing. Refine current page, entire notebook, again, just the page. Now they've just basically done what every manufacturer does and converts your handwriting into text. And from there you get the same things as you do on the bottom as last time. You get customize and you get add to notebook. So you can grab this passage, add it to your notebook, customize it, expand on it, what have you. And this one actually takes the same kind of spacing as the way I wrote it down initially. So it's quite nice and quite accurate. It even kind of picked up on everything. I mean, the way I wrote things, if we go back even, is honestly not even that accurate, but it got it all. My gingerbread, the way I wrote it, was very mushy. My instead here is almost illegible. Everything's ill-spaced and disproportionate, and it did it quite nicely. So honestly, this one is one of the better units to recognize text when it comes to handwriting conversion. Here comes a part that really all you guys are just going to have to experiment with, because there's a lot. If you open a book, this isn't about the book, this is about note-taking in the book. You can turn pages, all that fun stuff. If you underline something, it becomes underlined. If you draw something on the book, it's going to push everything out of whack, and I'll show you what we mean. If I start something right here and do a little circle, it's going to say yes or no, but you're not done yet. You can continue drawing, and then when you're finished, you say okay. Now it pushed everything away. It changed the entire core layout of the book. Once you tap it, you can actually extend the range, you can make it taller, move everything even further, or you can long press and delete it, and then that will push everything right back. I think that's kind of cool, because it allows you to create this range in which you're allowed to take some notes. So I can go like that, and then I have free range to do anything I want within that space. You know what this is exactly like? The ellipsa from Kobo. They did this kind of block system many years ago. Honestly, this is a really cool feature. I like the fact that it almost allows you to change things up. And again, you're not ruining anything. You don't have to keep these. You don't have to abide by these notes you made and be like, oh man, what am I going to do? You're not getting carried away. So it's all good in that regard. Up top, if you check your annotations, you get all your highlights, you get your underline, you get your note, and it tells you which one is a highlight, an underline, or a note. And when you tap on one thing, it'll go to where that thing is. So it is a really good way to organize all of your notes, all of your changes, all of your little doodles and everything without ruining the book. Really good change that, again, the previous generation had, but this one also has, so I think it's overall pretty nice. So in the end, is the Scribe 2 worth the upgrade? Sadly, no it's not. It's the same thing with the same model number. A new pen that you can buy separately, and it just costs more money than the previous generation. Everything on the inside that this unit has, the previous generation received in the form of updates. So things like the AI tool, Active Canvas, which are selling points on the 2, fall short of being perks because any scribe can utilize those features. We've seen Amazon do this countless times in the past. Sometimes they get a huge hit like the Kindle Matcha, and sometimes they have a swing and a miss like the Scribe 2. This is just simply encroaching on too expensive of a unit to justify for virtually no differences whatsoever, but it's 0.1 millimeters thinner after all, right? So, thanks for watching.